As a social scientist, I'm concerned about the way that people interact with each other. It appears to be that there's a problem when it comes to atheists. Atheists don't seem to get along. They seem to disagree on most of things that they could be disagreements on. However, this only pertains to a certain group, which I will call the Cannibal Atheists. If you take a look at the way that the human nature is structured, it appears to be that there is always a certain disagreement upon people based on the different upbringings and the different cultures. This is why human beings have decided to create different nations. They have decided to create different religions. They have created to decide different groups in which to socialize. We disagree with each other all the time, and that is not something new. Every day, new people are born and new people are taught something different. Even if it's something new in religious belief, if it's something different in politics, in the way that they view politics. Therefore, you might find that in the future these persons will disagree with each other. Hopefully it won't be bad enough for it to start a fight, but sometimes the disagreements are so strong that it creates struggle. Religious people seem to think that it's because they are atheists that they have the most disagreements. In fact, they think that it is because of the lack of God or because of the lack of belief in a deity that atheists fight more than other human beings do. However, I believe that fighting and struggle and disagreements is within human nature. In fact, if you take a closer look at how religions have been formed, you would find that there are a lot of disagreements and there have been a lot of problems. Christianity began after Jesus' death, and it was fairly just a couple of Christians trying to preach the gospel. As Christianity spread on, Catholicism was pretty much the standard religion of Rome. Then Constantinople moved the hosting city of Christianism from Rome to Constantinople. This created the first schism in Christianism. After that, the Orthodox were created as well as the Catholics. The Orthodox were then divided into Greek Orthodox and Russian Orthodox. And on the Catholic part, we have later on the Protestants, and even later on such groups as the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons. They all believe in a certain fellow called Christ. However, the details of what they believe are completely different. The same is true for the atheists. It is my belief that there are two sorts of atheists. There might be more, but in my own perspective, there's two main groups. There's a rational atheist, that is the atheist that has come to the conclusion that there is no God, thanks in part by science and rational thought. There is another sort of atheist, which I will call the rebellious atheist. This sort of atheist has not come to this conclusion because of science and rationality. They have come to this conclusion because they want to rebel against everything. In fact, they want to rebel against society and against the system that has brought them up. So the only way that they can purely rebel against everything is by being negative against everything. Therefore, religion is also ignored and rejected. When the primitive man started forming groups, that's when we can finally see the beginning of progress. In fact, without groups, every person was just a single person in themselves. The first great group is, of course, a family. However, when you start creating groups to reach certain goals, then, of course, progress is obtained a lot more easier. Forming groups, it seems to be part of our human nature, and it seems to have helped throughout time. Groups help us reach our goals faster and in a more efficient way. Being helplessly alone does not. Think of this example. Think that you are moving from one place to another and you have to move a piece of furniture. So you call your friends and you ask them to help along and you tell them, please help me move this piece of furniture on Friday night. There will always be that certain friend that will tell you, oh, I'm sorry, I can't help right now because I have something else to do. So you respond, well, thanks for nothing, but that's your right. If you don't want to help, you don't have to help. Your other friends, however, do get there. And they're going to help you move the piece of furniture around. However, they all start chipping in, and they have different ideas. Their goal is the same. The goal is to move the piece of furniture from place A to place B. However, they all have different methods. One of them says, I suggest that we pull. Another one says, I suggest that we push. And yet a third one says, I suggest that we lift it and move it. Maybe all of these would help reach their goals. However, if each of them does their own because they are so independently thinking, then of course it will not help reach their goals. One will push, one will pull, and another will only race, and the piece of furniture will not move. So, when there is someone that actually comes over and says, okay, let's think about this rationally and come up with the best answer, the best conclusion to this problem. So, after everybody talks about it, they decide that the best way to move the furniture is lifting it and moving it. They all gather around, lift it and do so. And that's how they accomplish the goal. They're not thinking in a group mentality. They are organizing themselves to reach their goals. When it comes to group forming, there is always groups that do work because they have good leadership, because their goals are correctly set. Others, however, are doomed to fail from the start. Over the last couple of weeks, a lot has been said about this new group forming called the IAM, the I Am, also known as the Independent Atheist Movement. However, everything that's been said, or pretty much close to everything that has been said, does not conform to the truth. Most people that criticize the group don't even know what it is for or what it stands for. Some of them think that it will not accomplish anything. The Independent Atheist Movement, it's a resource center for us atheists, agnostics and non-believers alike, where we can exchange ideas, we can plan different things, and we can reach our goals. This does not mean that we have a leader or that we have to abide to certain rules or to certain beliefs. It just means that it's a place where we can gather up and exchange our ideas. It's a resource center. Before you start criticizing us or the way that we have created our group, by the way, I didn't really create it, I'm just a part of it. So before even criticizing us, at least give us a chance. Get to know us better. Thank you.